It was before we were really busy in the spring, but it was one of those things where he said, no, you're not going. And I said, bullshit, yes I am. And I went home that night, sat down with Angie, and said, we need to figure something out because I'm not staying much longer. During that time of starting that business, we had bought a house, we had had a baby, and we were strapped. We weren't doing real great. We were young. And when we had our first kid, Angie said, I don't want to go back to work. I want to stay and raise my son, which is exactly what I wanted to help her do. But I said, you're going to have to do something because money is pretty tight. So we bought a computer, and this was in about 1995, 96 is when we first bought that computer, with the idea of she had a graphic background, she was an artist, and she wanted to learn how to create brochures and start a business. Well, then I bought her a package. It was called Corel, and it had a website design package. So she sat down there and figured out how to make websites. And within a year of that originally happening, this is, later on is when the vacation thing came up, and my gut instinct told me it was time to get out. And we sat there and we said, she had told me I can only do what I'm doing now. I can't do anymore. So I said, it's time to jump. So basically paid my partner to take my half of the business. It wasn't worth much. It was all work. It was a job. It wasn't a real business. But I essentially took over a truck payment to leave. I just said, I'm out of here, and I left. And talk about both feet, shitting bricks. We were rolling, but that's what we did.